For people who love to promote love, not hate, don't be violent, that sort of thing, and want to squash things like free speech from everybody else, they sure do know how to be very violent, or at least very threatening, in the public space. So, this Dianna from Ubisoft, apparently, she's going to be another developer, hopefully hitting the chopping block soon at this rate, because, come on, really? This is nonsense. This is ludicrous that these people are allowed to do these things and then companies not do anything about it. As it stands right now, she might have been fired, but nobody really knows because Ubisoft hasn't actually come out and said anything about it. So, what exactly happened? Well, this developer working at Ubisoft, working on the Division 2 specifically, according to her bio, gave a pretty vile death threat against PewDiePie, of all people. Now, this isn't the first time that the Pewds has been the target of a lot of harassment or something from people like this. I personally don't really watch his content that much, but every time there's talk about it, then I have to go see the content in question just to see if they're actually saying what they're saying. And this has been going on since, the Wall Street Journal or the Huffington Post or whoever it was released this nice 2 or so minute thing of how PewDiePie is some kind of an anti-Semite, hates the Jews, Hitler incarnate. And they took all the few 4 or 5 jokes that he has apparently made out of thousands upon thousands of videos that he has done over the years, put them all in one video, context completely stripped from it, to show that it was nothing more than a joke, that he was making fun of Hitler, because most people who make Nazi memes or Nazi jokes, it's because we're taking a piss out of Hitler and the Nazis, not because we're some kind of anti-Semites or anything like that. We just hate the Nazis, and it's fun to laugh at their idiocy. Anyway, is that even a word? I don't think that's a word. Anyway, what was her tweet again? It was directed at PewDiePie, and it was, "Enough is enough. Gaming industry, I'm going to need you to end this dude. You know exactly who you are. Cut ties with him now." Capitalizations are being used, so you know she's yelling it, and she means business. And that is sad that these people are capable of mobilizing the Twitter whatevers you want to call them to be yelling so loudly at a company that they'll straight up cut funding, ties, and other things with you without actually investigating this, because these are the same people who never buy your freaking product to begin with. Why do you think Marvel Comics has been having such a hard time lately these past few years? Because these are the same people who go in, complain about this, that, and the other. They need to take this out. They need to stop doing this. They need to do this. Blah, 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 blah. They get in there and start actually working and doing these things. And then suddenly nobody wants to buy the comics anymore because it's so full of, all this, ideology, extreme ideology that doesn't even make sense to even be in a book that is designed to make you escape the real world, when every time you turn the page, you're right back into the real world and the escapism has left. And the same thing is happening in video games. But naturally, the community, with the whole, everybody else being mobilized on social media platforms and stuff, guess what? Gamers are too now. We've had enough. We have no problem with telling you, where you can take your product and go stick it, because we're not going to purchase it if this is what you're going to do to us. If you're going to nickel and dime us, cram this ideology down our throats that we don't even care about, because all we want to do is have fun and play games. That's it. We want to escape the troubles of the real world and get lost in a fantasy land. We want to sit there and feel empowered that we're, the god of whatever world or something, or the big this and that, and go and crush our enemies. That's the whole point to it. We want to have fun. But currently, the reports are that she has been officially fired. However, it's not 100% because Ubisoft hasn't said anything yet. According to insiders, of course, broken by the channel The Quartering, she's one of a few bad apples that have been hired purely for, the whole diversity initiative type stuff, whose sole purpose is to push this kind of crap. But what's interesting is the fact that her profile has now changed, because it used to say that she worked for Ubisoft on The Division 2. But that's no longer there. And in its place is thoughts and opinions are my own, which makes you wonder, did she get fired? Or has Ubisoft said, hey, lock your profile down, get us out of your damn your bio, replace it with my thoughts are my own, and you can keep your job. And if that's what they did, I really, really would be disappointed, because when you've got somebody who is representing your company and they're going out and making threats against somebody, that there, one, is against the law. If you're in the U.S., we have the thing known as freedom of speech. However, that freedom of speech does not cover things like threats of violence, threats of action, or cause to action to promote violence. And this woman clearly was threatening violence or was making a call to action to promote violence against somebody she doesn't like, because she thinks this guy is some kind of a racist. Because, let's face it, our hack media cannot tell anything unbiased. It doesn't matter what it is or how small the issue is, they will make that thing grow from what little pebble it was into this gigantic mountain that never even existed by just omitting this, not sharing that, showing this piece but not the piece before or after it, and all this other stuff. And these people feel like they're somehow on the right side of history because they're purging the evil in this world without realizing that they themselves are the evil that needs to be purged from this world. I mean, heck, she went on this whole thing about how we, the gaming community, needs to get our act together and start purging these people, get them out of these spaces. We need to make it known that they're not welcome. And you know what? You're right. We do. When you've got a vile human being and you know it's a vile human being, you know that is just them and they are not like making some kind of in-joke or anything like that, we should kick them to the curb. We should forget they exist. We should excommunicate them from our community. So, to start that off, I'd like to call attention to this person known as Dianna from Ubisoft, who works on The Division 2. She seems to be a very vile human being who wants to call on other people to do her dirty work for her in manners of threatening language and threatening of violence towards other people that she doesn't like or disagrees with or whatever else. She honestly should be excommunicated from the gaming community. She should not be allowed to develop for anybody but herself. If she wants to go indie, then that's fine. Nobody should buy her product. These are the same people who want to go back 10 years and crucify you for something you said 10 years ago, regardless of the context, without the chance for redemption. Doesn't matter if you've changed or not. You can see that with several people out there, whether they're from Hollywood or in the gaming industry or whatever else. If you say the one thing they don't like, or if you have in the past, they have no problem with going out there and rudging it up and say, you made a gay joke. You're a homophobe. And all this other stuff. And you know what? We should treat them the same way, to be honest. It feels like, we've tried to do this so many different ways. And it really does feel like sometimes taking the high road just doesn't work. You really have to fight fire with fire at some points. If you want to get somebody like whoever coming out, like Dianna here, who thinks her stuff don't stink for some odd reason, go back into the past and see where she did screw up. Throw it back in her face. Go, you're fat shaming, or you're this, or you're doing that. What the heck? And we're supposed to listen to you? No, get out. There's the door. Go. If you don't go, we'll throw you at it. It's probably how we should probably start handling this kind of stuff at this point. Every time one of those developers decide to get, quote, woke, and think that they're the hottest thing since sliced bread, maybe we should just go ahead and just dig through their past, find out where they screwed up. Oh, you were breastfed? Oh, okay. Oh, whoa, you can't run for anything. You can't do this or that. You touched that woman's, bosom. I don't think it was, you know what I'm getting at. Anyway, I'm sick, so I'm having a hard time thinking at this point. But, yeah, seriously, if you're going to sit there, you're going to crucify other people for something they've done, you better make sure that your past is squeaky clean at that point. Because if it's not, it needs to be thrown back at that person. It's one thing to change and say, come out and be a different person, because people do it every day. There are people out there who are reformed from whatever past transgressions they have made. Meanwhile, there are other people who aren't, and they continue to make those same transgressions day in and day out, regardless of what they say. And you can see it in their actions. But anyway, that's about all I got to say on that. What do you think down in the comments below? Do you think this woman has been fired? Or, you know what, I don't know if she likes to be called a woman, or if she's a zir or a z or an it. I don't know. I think her pronouns were listed in her profile. I just can't remember them at this moment, and I really don't have the time to go take a look at it. But anyway, let me know down in the comments below, do you think she got fired? If not, do you think she should get fired? Till then, I will talk to you later. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.